Welcome back. The presidential election, not the only major race to watch in 2024. Pinal County Sheriff Mark Lamb announcing a run for the Senate in Arizona. He's challenging current Senator Kyrsten Sinema, who became an independent in December of last year, but still caucuses with the Democrats. Joining me right now is Arizona Senate candidate and Pinal County Sheriff Mark Lamb. Sheriff, great to see you. Thanks very much for being here. Tell us about your campaign. What's your platform?
Look, Arizona needs a proven conservative fighter that's going to stand up for the people of Arizona and America and fight for the values which we love, which are God, family, and freedom. We've got to start enforcing the rule of law. We've got to secure our border. We've got to get this economy back under control. And, we've had a lot of success in Pinal County as a sheriff, but now I'm looking to take that success statewide.
Well, Kyrsten Sinema had a real opportunity to get tough on the border. She didn't really do so until recently, but still the media is already going after you and your campaign. Rolling Stone writes this: the 2024 Arizona Senate race just got a little weirder. Mark Lamb, Republicans' first big-name candidate for the seat, is now a whole new brand of extreme. They go after your refusal to enforce COVID mandates and your past defense of President Trump. I guess that makes you extreme.
Yeah, Aristotle says the only way to avoid criticism is to do nothing, say nothing, or be nothing. Well, I refuse to not do anything. I refuse to not say anything when something's wrong, and I refuse to not be anything. And I think that's what Americans expect out of their people who they elect to be their leaders, to represent them in Washington, D.C. I know that's what the people of Arizona want. And look, if you want to come and support me, if you don't like what the Rolling Stone and all these other people say, come please support me at sherifflambforsenate.com. We need a lot of help. We want to make sure that we get this state back.
Well, look, you are in a position to make a difference at the border. Look at this, what happened this week. Sources at the border told me yesterday that the Texas Department of Public Safety arrested an alleged human smuggler this week who admitted to being recruited through Craigslist. Okay, he was recruited through a Craigslist ad out of Houston. The source shared this screenshot saying, transportation gig available. All you need is a vehicle, payout same day, and cash on delivery. Sheriff, basically they're paying $1,000 per head, and they're getting young kids to drive the getaway car, picking people up from the border, driving them to Houston to get fake paper so that they can go anywhere they want in the country. We don't know half of the people who are in America and in terms of the gotaways because of this. What can you do about it?
Well, we've got to hold these social media people accountable. Look, they can take down somebody's conservative voice, but they're not willing to stop the cartels from recruiting people, whether it's on Craigslist or Snapchat or TikTok. They've been doing this for years now, especially since this administration came into office, and they are recruiting 16-year-olds, 17-year-olds. We've got people flying in from out of state, coming down to the border, picking loads up, driving them through my county into Phoenix, and then, frankly, they're going to be in your front yard tomorrow across this country. We've got to do a better job at holding these cartels accountable. We've got to hold the people that are breaking the law accountable. That's a novel idea, right? We've got to get back to enforcing that, and that's how we're going to start to get on top of this border crisis. But as long as you allow this to happen every day and you're paying them all that money, and frankly, the left likes to talk about how Americans are doing this. But those Americans are being recruited and paid by the cartels. It's unacceptable. The people of Arizona are tired of it, and they want a proven conservative fighter.
Well, that's what was the next question. I mean, will the people of Arizona actually move to change in terms of this Senate race? Batya, jump in here with
Yes,
this.
Sheriff, thank you so much for joining us. Batya Ungar-Sargon from Newsweek here. A lot of these issues that you're discussing are issues that are extremely important to Americans across the political spectrum. Crime, the border, fentanyl. I understand that you had, tragedy in your family around this, and I'm so sorry to hear about that. My question is this: was the lesson of the 2022 midterms not that a lot of these independents and even moderate Democrats that you would need in order to win are a little bit turned off by extremist rhetoric, even though they share these values? How are you going to appeal to those people?
I go all over Arizona. I do it in my county. I've been successful in 2 elections as the sheriff. I go all over the state of Arizona. And what Arizonans and Americans, frankly, are hungry for is somebody who's authentic, who speaks simple truth, who's not afraid to stand up to the wokeness, to this crazy agenda that we're seeing in this country. That's what all they want. Look, They love conservative values. They love God, family, freedom. They're just looking for somebody that will represent them well on a state level and on a national level, especially in Washington, D.C. And I hope that people will come support me for that. They can come sign my petition, come donate at sherifflambforsenate.com.
So tell me about Arizona and the state of affairs right now. They're coming in where? In Arizona. And I understand from sources at the border that the gotaways oftentimes go first to Tucson. What are you seeing in Arizona?
Yeah, Maria, we're in the Tucson sector. So that's going to include Cochise County, Santa Cruz County, Pima County, Tucson, and then my county, which is one county off. But I have the I-10 freeway that comes through my county, which is the main artery for the cartel bringing humans and drugs into this country. Just the other day, we stopped a vehicle that had cocaine, methamphetamines, fentanyl pills, and something called gray death, which is a combination of fentanyl, heroin, and something called carfentanil, which is 100 times more powerful than fentanyl.
Christ.
One of my deputies actually got sick. Fortunately, he didn't have to be hospitalized. But imagine how dangerous this could be for somebody who was actually using this on purpose. This is what we try to stop every day. We go out, we make traffic stops. We're successful in stopping the human trafficking and the drug trafficking. But we've got to do a better job. And Arizona, especially the Tucson sector, leads the way in gotaways almost every month.
Yeah, that is just incredible. Sheriff, thanks very much. We'll be watching your work on this and, of course, the Senate race. Mark Land this morning.